Would you rather have $1 million right now or a penny that doubles every day for 30 days? Most people grab the million, and most people would be wrong. That penny? It turns into over $5 million by day 30. And that one example explains almost everything you need to know about building wealth. This is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, and these 7 lessons might completely change the way you think about money. What if I told you that getting rich has almost nothing to do with how smart you are and everything to do with how you behave? That's the core message of this book. And after reading it, I can tell you, it's one of the most important finance books written in the last decade. Let's break down the 7 biggest lessons. Lesson 1. No one is crazy. Here's what Housel means by that. Your personal experience with money makes up maybe 0.00001% of what's happened in the world, but it shapes maybe 80% of how you think the world works. Someone who grew up during a stock market boom sees investing completely differently than someone who grew up during a crash. Neither one is wrong. They just lived through different realities. A person born in the 1970s saw the S&P 500 go up tenfold during their teens and 20s. Of course they love stocks. Someone born in 1950 saw the market go essentially nowhere during that same period of their life. Of course they're skeptical. The takeaway? Before you judge someone's money decisions, remember, they're playing a completely different game than you, based on a completely different life experience. Lesson 2. Luck and risk are siblings. Bill Gates went to one of the only high schools in the entire world that had a computer in 1968. His friend Kent Evans was just as talented, just as driven, but he died in a mountaineering accident before graduation. Gates got lucky, Evans got unlucky. Same talent, wildly different outcomes. Housel's point is powerful. Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. When things go well, it's never 100% because of hard work. And when things go badly, it's never 100% because of laziness. This matters for your money because it keeps you humble when you win and compassionate when you lose. And both of those things help you make better financial decisions long term. Lesson 3. Never enough. Rajat Gupta was a former CEO of McKinsey, one of the most prestigious companies on the planet. His net worth was over $100 million, but he wanted to be a billionaire. So he got involved in insider trading and ended up in prison. The hardest financial skill isn't earning money. It's knowing when to stop. It's the ability to look at what you have and say, this is enough. Social comparison is the thief of financial joy. There will always be someone with a bigger house, a nicer car, a fatter portfolio. The goalpost keeps moving unless you consciously decide to stop it. Housel says it perfectly. The only way to win is to decide the game isn't worth playing. Lesson 4. Confounding compounding. Here's a mind-bending fact. Warren Buffett's net worth is over $100 billion. But $97 billion of that came after his 65th birthday. Read that again. 97% of his wealth came after the age most people retire. Buffett didn't become the greatest investor because he had the highest returns. He became the greatest investor because he started at age 10 and never stopped. That's compounding. And here's the thing. Compounding is intuitive in math class, but almost impossible to grasp in real life. Our brains aren't wired to understand exponential growth. This is why the most powerful wealth-building strategy isn't finding the highest return. It's finding a decent return you can stick with for the longest period of time. Consistency beats intensity, every single time. Lesson 5. Getting wealthy and staying wealthy are 2 completely different skills. Getting money requires taking risks, being optimistic, and putting yourself out there. Staying wealthy requires the exact opposite: humility, fear, and accepting that some of what you've earned is due to luck. Housel calls this survival, and he argues it's the most important financial skill of all. Think about it this way. More than 40% of all companies that were successful enough to be listed on the stock market eventually lost almost all their value. Permanently. The ones who survive aren't the flashiest. They're the ones with a margin of safety. They plan for things to go wrong. They don't assume the good times will last forever. In personal finance, this means have an emergency fund. Don't leverage yourself to the max. Leave room for error. It's not sexy, but it's what keeps you in the game. Lesson 6. Tails drive everything. In venture capital, out of every 50 investments, half will fail. 10 will do pretty well. And 1 or 2 will account for 100% of the fund's returns. The same applies to your money decisions. You can be wrong a lot and still come out rich, as long as the few things you get right are really right. Amazon launched the Fire Phone. Massive failure. They invested in dozens of experiments that went nowhere. But they also launched Amazon Web Services, which now makes up the majority of their profit. The lesson for us: don't beat yourself up over financial mistakes. Not every stock pick, not every business idea, not every financial decision needs to be a winner. You just need a few big wins and the math works out. Lesson 7. The highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up and say, I can do whatever I want today. This is the most important lesson in the entire book. Housel argues that controlling your time is the highest dividend money can pay. It's not about sports cars or mansions. The real value of money is options. The ability to say no. The ability to wait. The ability to walk away. Research backs this up. The strongest predictor of happiness isn't income level. It's having a sense of control over your daily life. So when you're building wealth, keep asking yourself, does this decision give me more freedom or less? That's the only question that really matters. So let's recap the 7 lessons from The Psychology of Money. 1. Your experience shapes your money beliefs, and no one is crazy. 2. Luck and risk are 2 sides of the same coin. 3. Knowing when enough is the ultimate skill. 4. Compounding is the most powerful force in finance. 5. Staying wealthy requires a completely different mindset than getting wealthy. 6. You can be wrong most of the time and still win big. And 7. The true purpose of money is freedom. If you only take one thing from this video, let it be this. Wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how you behave. If this video helped you think differently about money, hit that subscribe button. We break down the best finance and investing books every week so you can build wealth smarter, not harder.